This is Waterloo, where Napoleon took his last stand. It was an epic battle with more than 50,000 men dead, about 25,000 to 27,000 on each side. And we are right now at the Waterloo Museum and Center, and we're about to go up this mound, which was built a few decades right after the war that ensued in June 18th, 1815. Napoleon, after being ousted and made emperor of a tiny island off Europe, decided to come back and take over France once again. He was successful. He did not shoot one shot in order to take back control of his army in France, because apparently the men in France loved him so much. However, when he decided to continue pushing for control over all of Europe, this did not bode well with the English, the Russians, the Prussians, the Germans, and they all united in order to destroy him. Let's go up this mound right over here. So right here, this is the panorama, really cool panorama of the entire battle sequence. I'm going to play this as I'm going up the mound right over here. So let me pull up a few videos so people can enjoy. All right, so let's go up the mound, shall we? And here is a panorama. The building right next to me. It shows the battle 360 degrees. And what's more fun than climbing up steps? This mound was made in commemoration of the men who died on this battlefield in 1815. And let me know where you're watching from. I'm Ariel. This is Urbanist. And these are steep steps. Oh my. We're going to get a very good view. And play another clip. Hello Susie, hello Marianne, hello Michelle, hello Joe, hello Ron. Welcome everyone. ABBA sang about this. Yeah, ABBA did sing about this. And there is a ABBA exhibition as well inside. Wow. Look at this. We are located in Belgium right now, in the French side of Belgium, Wallonia. And this is the exact spot where Napoleon fought against a massive coalition of the English, the Prussians, Hanover, other parts of modern-day Germany. Albert says, are we still in Belgium? We are. Let me know if you like climbing stairs. Isn't it so fun to climb stairs? Susie says, I like seeing you climb stairs. Whew. It's cold and humid. Usually this wouldn't be that big of an issue. It is steep. Oh yeah. All right. QI the tiger. Woo! Victory. We just came from right down there. Susie says, what have you done with Evan? He's downstairs. Wow. Oh, this is so cool. Oh my. It's about to get windy. I have a wind cover on, but it's not going to be sufficient to hold down the wind noise. Woo! There's some old graffiti here as well. Look at this. Wow. A huge lion. Woo. I'm going to pop up a few photos so you get a sense of the battle that was here. It was depicted in the recent Napoleon movie, directed by Ridley Scott. Another famous movie called Waterloo, specifically about this battle. They had a huge amount of actual soldiers recreate the battle meticulously. And this is what happened right here. Wow. It looks just like that morning, right before the battle. Very rainy. It was muddy grounds. Not the best conditions for fighting. But then apparently the sun came out, and that's when the fighting began. And here we see the positions of what we would have seen in the battle if we were at this vantage point. This mountain was constructed later, so there would have not been a vantage point this high back then. But look, we have the Duke of Wellington, who was British, and part of the new union between England, Wales, and Scotland. And he had mostly control. Most of his soldiers were actually not his own. There were Prussians, Germans, Hanoverians, and they were battling France. France was standing alone, had no allies. And who was running the French army? Well, the emperor himself, Napoleon. The man who declared himself emperor, who crowned himself. He was known as a Corsican thug, because he came from an island in the Mediterranean. He wasn't even considered French by many of his compatriots, especially when he started his military career. He was made fun of his funny accent, which would have been a Corsican accent. However, he was driven and he rose the ranks and became general and then emperor. Let's see if we can find another photo. Now, the army of Duke of Wellington was vicious. This was the Scottish regiment who yelled in honor of Scotland as they rushed the Frenchmen. And this would have been the state of France right back then, and the war that was ensuing. But right here, I think it's interesting to know the stats. So about 72,000 men for the French side, and about 120,000 men on the side of the UK, Britain, Prussia, etc. But however, 26 to 27,000 men died on the French side, and 24,000 died on the other side. It was devastating. Imagine 50,000 dead right here in front of us. Here we have only one crow chasing another poor bird. There would have been thousands of crows potentially right over here. Visual aids are helpful. They are, Susie. Yeah, especially coming up here, you'll just see a field of grass. There's not much to kind of see if you don't know the history. Now, what the most impressive military tactic that Duke of Wellington did was the cavalry was rushing the army of the Duke of Wellington. And he made this military position where he got these infantrymen that usually would be really vulnerable to a rush of cavalry. That's basically the death knell for many infantrymen. He got these infantrymen to form a square, a hollow square. So the square was empty in the middle, and it was just the men in squares all throughout the battlefield. As the French cavalry rushed over, thinking that they had the battle within their grasp, the men went into position and started firing in every single direction towards the cavalry. This was devastating. The cavalry started dropping like flies. The men who were injured on the Duke of Wellington side within these squares, or who died, were placed in the middle of the square to clear the square so they could keep on shooting in every single direction. This proved to be a genius move. And you could just imagine coming back here in 1815 and seeing the squares of infantrymen all throughout this battlefield. Now, I don't know exactly where they would have been positioned within what we're seeing, but it would have been in this general area. And Joe says, I'm surprised no one has built condos over here. Yeah. Hey, Marianne says, this reminds me of Gettysburg. This is the only battlefield I've visited. Hey, yeah. Let's just check out this other side. Woo! The wind is rough. Marie says, this is sacred grounds, no buildings. Yeah, there's the town right over here, Waterloo. Maurice Alex says, that's crazy, yeah. Albert, we are indeed in Waterloo. You have to wonder the personality type of Napoleon. That man had balls, I'll say that. Joe says, what a view. That's a lot of stairs, says Abby. Yeah, it was a lot of stairs. You gotta pace yourself. Especially in the humid, cold weather like this, you'll get a little bit more tired than usual. What other Belgian sites are you seeing, says Menace. Not too much. We're off to a next location. So stay tuned. You'll see somewhere other place tomorrow. We're going to go for a very long drive. So Susie says Napoleon was short. You know, contrary to popular belief, Napoleon wasn't that short. If I recall, he was like 5'6", so, or something along those lines. He was not like Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito might be a bit too short to play Napoleon. or Peter Dinklage might be a bit too short to play Napoleon. I wish I knew the immense details of this battle, but I do recommend to check out after this video. There's excellent videos that are going to do a way better job than I can of illustrating what happened in this battle. So search the Battle of Waterloo, and there's some excellent videos. One by History Hit, Dan Snow. He does a great job in really explaining the entire battle and how it went through. Because these battles, especially in the Napoleonic era, were quite complex. And they're sometimes very difficult to explain just verbally. So enjoy those videos after this one. But let me show you the views one more time. Feel free to ask me any questions. I'll do my best to answer them. And this was about a 28-minute to a 30-minute drive away from Brussels. Brussels is where we stayed last night. And I enjoyed a little bit of Brussels at night. Went to two amazing pubs at night with my friend Evan, and it was a quick drive over here. The admission is €20. You can do a few extras. There's other stuff to see around the other part of the battlefield, and also there's an ABBA exhibition as well. But right now, let me show you Waterloo one more time. Marie says 5'6" is short. I don't think so. For the greater context of France or Europe back then, men were a bit shorter than they are now, if I recall correctly. For example, at least in America, George Washington standing at like 6'2" was deemed very, 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 very tall. So tall that he really couldn't find beds that were adequate for his size. So if I were to speculate, I would say that Napoleon actually wasn't that short for his time, but I might be wrong. ABC says, will you be going to other countries? Yes. 2 weeks, I'll be going live, nearly on a daily basis, so stay tuned. Hello, Justine. LA Bree says, I love long drives. I'm glad you do, yeah. Long drives could be fun. Certain parts of Europe, especially when we start passing mountains. Right now, we're in a very, very flat area of Europe. I mean, we might be in one of the tallest locations in Belgium at the moment, actually. This is super tall for Belgium standards. There's not that many... I don't think there's any mountains in Belgium. There's not that many large hills, I think, in Belgium either. It looks chilly, says Justine. It really is chilly. Ooh! Chilly, chilly, chilly. But this is just gorgeous. I am so happy I was able to come here. If you want to go on a real-life urbanist adventure, October 2024 is going to be the first dates that you can book a trip with my friend Evan, who will be hosting urbanist tours hosted by his company Explorabilia. He is a very talented tour guide. You met him yesterday. We'll see him again in the following days. And I personally curated the tour with him in Greece to give you a real-life urbanist experience that you can enjoy. And it's multiple days throughout Greece, some of the most beautiful sights you'll ever see. Go to tours.urbanist.com. Sorry, tours.urbanist.live. Tours.urbanist.live. Or right now in the comments, write !tours if you're on YouTube, and the link will pop up. One more time, Waterloo, so gorgeous. Same time, says David. No set times. We're going back and forth all around, so we don't have a set schedule. It'll be hard to stick to set schedule. Hey, thank you so much. So ABC searched some information online. He said that the estimated average height of a Frenchman in 1820 was about 5 feet 4 inches. At the time of his death, Napoleon was about 5'7". Yes, exactly. So Napoleon was not a short man at that time. He was depicted short mostly due to propaganda by the English, by the Russians, by the Germans. It was propaganda in order to make it seem like he was this short man with an inferiority complex. He did have an inferiority complex, I think, a Napoleon complex, as people say it. I think it was more due to his background as a Corsican, as opposed to him not really being, he wasn't really short. All right. What a magnificent view. So that is Waterloo. Highly recommend it. I'll post some clips of the museum on Instagram, instagram.com/urbanistlive. Urbanistlive is my username on Instagram. Check it out. I post stories. I post clips that I usually don't publish on my live videos or short videos, so you can see a little bit extra stuff from my trip. I'm going to make a short video of this right now very quickly. And thank you everyone so much for tuning in. I'm off to the rest of Europe. Stay tuned on a daily basis. I'll be live for these next 2 weeks all throughout Europe. Thank you so much for tuning in. Keep being awesome. And always keep on exploring. Have a great day, everyone. Au revoir. And Napoleon, you fought hard, but you lost. Have a great day, everyone.